He stinks.
Oh, shit.
It's gone.
Here we go, baby. Monday night, Sports Hounds are live exclusively on A2D Radio. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Don't miss a damn thing here on A2D Radio because the Philadelphia Eagles are playing violent football, and they are playoff relevant. As crazy as that sounds. We're live here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Takeover Talk. Miss anything, download us, podcast form, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, more Takeover Talk. He's Brad Ryer. I'm Rob Brakeman. Frank Vesby's in the back, keeping the train on the tracks. We're brought to you by Dr. Paul Vidal. He's our doc. Make him yours too. Specialized physical therapy, 2 convenient locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill. We're also brought to you by Body Check Wellness, a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, gummies, and topicals. Use promo code A2D for a staggering 25% off. Unbelievable. 25% off. All you got to do is tell me no us. Tell me no Brad. Tell me no Tom Arnone. Tell me no Ryan Brodo. Tell me no Brink. We get 25% off your order. Great holiday value right there. We had a lot to get into tonight. We got the Eagles. They're running the ball violently. They're taking this league by storm. They're getting 240 yards rushing against the number 1 run defense in the entire NFL. They're playoff relevant. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go around the league because the playoff situation in both the AFC and NFC is getting thick real quick. We'll break that down. We'll tell you what's going on next week in terms of schedule. A lot of huge games, Brad. I just looked at it, glanced at it. Niners-Vikings is next week. Packers-Rams is next week. You know, we'll have the Washington football team. They're playing better. They're playing Seattle next week on Monday Night Football. Bills-Saints. That's Thursday with Thanksgiving. A lot going on. Game. And then, Brad, your Giants. I don't want to say do or die tonight for your Giants, Brad, but they got to win this football game.
They give themselves no margin for error if they lose this game.
You go 3-7, and then you're not out of it, but you kind of are. You got to run the table. Saquon Barkley.
They do have a very favorable schedule. That's why this game is so important to them. Because if they can somehow find a way to pull this game out, and they've got Barkley in, they got Galladay in. So that, at this point, the only one missing is Shepard, and he's always hurt, so that doesn't really matter. They've with the key to this game for the Giants is their offensive line has got to give Jones time, and they've also got to somehow open up some holes. And again, let's see Saquon get in there and get some yards and get the Giants a lead. The Giants need to get the lead in this game. They cannot afford to get behind against this team.
If you're making your last minute fan up lineup like I just did, play fan up. Best way to play fantasy football, daily fantasy football, fan up, daily contests and more, win great prizes. Sign up today, A2D promo code, 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. Beauty of it, you got to kind of play games with DraftKings, with the salary caps. No salary caps on fan up. Fire away. You got your captain. He gets you 1.5 times the point value. So if you're making your fan up lineup at the last second, Rob Gronkowski is in. Saquon Barkley is in. Kenny Galladay is in. Sterling Shepard is out. And, if you want to maybe double up on the Giants backfield, I think they're going to do good tonight. Nose tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Vita Vea, is out. So part of the reason that Tampa Bay has this great run defense, big part of that, big nose tackle, big Samoan, he's not going to be in there. I really bring him pick. If you want real gambling,
I'll tell you what, I love the 11 points tonight.
Look, if you want, I'm an idiot with a microphone. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I can't pick my nose when it comes to these NFL games, but you know who can? Nate Moss, Willie Vegas, the Money Pop Podcast. Become an A2D member, $9.99 a month. Special shout-outs, perks, merchandise gives away. I don't even know where we get these signed jerseys from to give away to these people, but it's unbelievable. Become an A2D member. Follow the link in our show bio. $9.99 a month. It's a steal. Let's get to our poll question. Our poll question brought to you by All Campus. Me and Brad will be down there all on Sunday between 9th and 10th Street on All Campus doing the Eagles pregame show because it's Eagles-Giants next Sunday. That's our last topic for the night. Eagles-Giants preview. There's Saquon Barkley on the TV getting all warmed up. Hard to hate Saquon.
It's really good to see him back.
And, I hate the Giants.
Yeah, but they need him.
I hate him.
They need him, though. But
Saquon Barkley is a likable player. So our poll question night brought to you by All Campus. Me and Brad will be down there Sunday at 11:30 a.m. right up the kickoff for the Eagles pregame show with our boy Johnny Coyle down there. It's a great time. We play cornhole. There's even more discounts there. You save a bundle just listening here to A2D Radio. It's unbelievable. So that's our poll question night. Jalen Hurts is capable of winning a playoff game. Brad, I'm sold. This Eagles football team is going to the playoffs. I'm sold.
I would have to agree with you. I think that they've put themselves in a position now where they're close enough to the pack. They've got a very favorable schedule. As long as they don't stub their toe, I could see them definitely getting there. And the best part for them is that their real tough game, which is against the Cowboys, isn't going to come till the last game of the season. And if the Cowboys clinch the division by then, which they probably will, you have to figure that the Eagles will be able to play them, and the Cowboys won't be foolish enough to play all their regulars. Nobody who's going to make the playoffs usually plays their regulars the last game of the season. So they could end up facing the Cowboys with a second string quarterback, and no Zeke, and probably one of the three one of the three receivers probably won't be playing either. Maybe two. The Cowboys are going to be careful. It's too important for them to put guys out there if they've already clinched the division. So you have to figure that with the Eagles' schedule, it is favorable. They have all their games are very winnable games. Meanwhile, you look at teams like the Giants who have winnable games after this game. It's going to be tough to win in Tampa, no question. They're a tough team at home. But Tampa Bay has some injury problems, and I think the Giants are going to be very competitive tonight. If they don't get in their own way and keep shooting themselves in the foot, which unfortunately they seem to do every week, they have a chance to win this game. Last week, they finally didn't shoot themselves in the foot. The last game they played, which was against Oakland 2 weeks ago, they played a clean game, got a big defensive play, and won the game. And that kind of started the Raiders' downfall, so to speak. The Raiders have not been the same team since they lost that game to the Giants. I think they've lost 3 in a row now.
So you get back to the Eagles, and why I'm convinced that this football team is going to the playoffs, and no one can tell me otherwise. So my mind's made up. When my mind's made up, Brad Ryer, I'm off to the races. I'm to the moon. So you look at this team, Jalen Hurts. Well, first off, let's start at the top. Let's start at the hierarchy. Nick Sirianni, who's done a great job. He's been the butt of a lot of jokes, and deservingly so. This is 4 game plans in a row now that I've been super impressed with. And
he changed the whole game plan of the Eagles, which in the middle of the season, that's not so easy to do.
Yeah, and now you're playing violent football. You're playing to your strengths. Lane Johnson's back. Jordan Mailata is emerging into a superstar. You hit in the draft with Landon Dickerson. Jason Kelsey looks like he's 25-year-old, pulling at center and running over linebackers left and right. It's unbelievable. They're playing violent football, and that's what Philadelphia wants to see.
They're playing northeast football. This is the kind of football you have to play to be successful right now. According to the location that you're playing in a cold weather area. We get a lot of bad weather on Sundays in December and the beginning of January. It's going to be cold. It's going to be damp. You might get some rain. Who knows? You might even get some snow. It's going to be a crappy field. If you can run the ball the way the Eagles are running the ball, there's no reason why they can't get into the playoffs. None of these teams that they're competing with
Pretty good.
Are they're not. It's not that they're not good. They're just not consistent. You get a team like the Minnesota Vikings who lose games to awful teams, and then they go out and beat Green Bay, but they're still the Vikings. They can never seem to put it all together. They are what their record is. They're a 500 team, and they've been extremely inconsistent. So you can't count on them to be. They're not going to win 10 games. The 49ers, I doubt they're going to win 10 games. Their schedule is too hard, and they've got too hard a division.
They're my 6th seed.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, you can beat any one of those. You could beat any one of those wild cards, with the exception. I guess you have to put the Rams away and put them on the other side, because the Rams are
going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Rams and Cardinals are both going to make the playoffs. I mean, there's no question about that. So that gives you the 5th seed. So you got two wild card teams, and you have all these other teams. Now Washington, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Washington, it seems like they've galvanized themselves since they lost Young and they lost some other guys. So we'll see. They certainly looked very good yesterday against Carolina. They've had some impressive wins the last couple of weeks.
So when we get to the poll question, our poll question tonight is: Jalen Hurts good enough to win a playoff game? Because I'm already sold they're going to be in the playoffs. Look, I know Trevor Siemian stinks, and he does. He stinks. The guy blows. That's why I'm confident that the Giants can move the football tonight, because Trevor Siemian went in against this Tampa defense in the Superdome and shredded him. Absolutely shredded him. So I know that guy stinks. But what you look at with that game and why this team is going to the playoffs, number one run defense in the league. You put up 242 yards rushing.
I don't necessarily agree with you about the Saints defense. The Giants beat them in New Orleans too when they had their.
But Brad, the numbers are the numbers. They're the number one run defense. The Eagles bullied them around like they were a JV team.
Well, they can be passed against though. That's why the
Eagles. They only threw the ball 24 times. They only completed 13 passes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of teams against the Saints just throw the ball because you can. That's been part of the Saints' problem. But the Eagles did a real good job running the ball yesterday.
So you're an outside perspective. So you've watched Jalen Hurts. You've heard me scream about him. You've heard the fan base scream about him. You heard ATD radio scream about him. He's not good enough. Now I'm so enamored with this guy and how he's getting better, and like I'm seeing his intangibles, translate into something that maybe could be a franchise quarterback. I mean.
Well, you know what? He's got a lot of the same kind of qualities as Lamar. And if Lamar can be successful, why can't Jalen Hurts be successful? I mean, Lamar isn't the most accurate passer. He's not the greatest passer in the world. But you know what? He seems to get the job done when he has to throw the ball. And same thing seems to be happening now with Jalen Hurts. They're both dynamic runners. They both do the RPA to a point where they the RP. What is it? RPO or RPA?
RPO. Run pass option.
They both do. They do the RPOs as well as anybody in the league. I'm comparing him to Lamar Jackson because that's who he looks like to me. Is Lamar Jackson.
But Brett, what I need to figure out in these 2 hours on the Sports Hounds, and we're gonna get the comments in a second, and people can comment, is can you win a football game in 2021 throwing the ball 24 times, having your quarterback, go 13 for 24 for less than 200 yards?
If you run the ball as successfully as they are, why not? You can run the ball and be opportunistic passing the ball. The Titans have made a living at it doing that the last couple of years.
Because, Brad, if the answer to that question is yes, if I can win a playoff game in 2021 with that formula, which I've been pretty outspoken, like I don't think that can happen.
I don't think that they can. Listen, it's going to be tough because the problem is they're going to have to – they're probably going to have to –
If they get in, they're going to be playing Arizona or Green Bay or the Rams or Tampa or something like that.
Or Dallas, and it's going to be tough, and they're going to be on the road in a playoff game, and that's going to be tough. But you know what? I think they're going to be a tough out.
I wouldn't want to play the Eagles at all if I were one of those top teams. If I'm one of those top teams, I want the Eagles to lose, and I want someone else to get the 7 seed.
Depends who you're talking about, but listen, they have the ability. If their defense is good, and that's really going to be the key, is if their defense can step up and start playing better. That's going to be the key to the success of this team, because obviously they can run the ball. They can run the ball on anybody. Right now they're playing at a very high level. Now, if they can continue to run the ball and be opportunistic passing the ball, yeah, why not? I mean, when defense, remember one thing though, defense travels, offense sometimes doesn't in the playoffs. So if their defense picks up the party and starts playing real well, that's going to be the key. Look for their defense to start turning things around, which I think it is, and you'll see they'll have maybe they have a shot. It's going to be tough because they're going to end up probably playing Green Bay or the Rams in the first round, or the Cardinals, and that's going to be it, or Tampa Bay. I just don't know. I just don't think that they can beat those teams on the road. I don't
either, but I don't care about the draft pick. I want to be in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, of course you want to be in the playoffs, and you know what? If you have a winning team, if you can get, say, to 9-8 or 10-7 and get there and represent yourself with a good record and go in there and be very competitive in a playoff game, that would be really a good sign for them for next year.
So yes,
you don't want the draft. You don't want your own draft pick to be that high. I mean, if Miami stinks, then great. You'll get a high pick from them. You know what? You want to build your team, and you want to make sure your team is real competitive, because you're going to have a lot of extra young players to bring into the team next year. You'll have a little bit more money to play with, to add some necessary players. They're definitely on the right track.
All right, let's get to some comments here. All our comments are brought to you by Manscaped. 20% off. Promo code A2D. Manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Brian Daly's in the house. What's unbelievable is the Eagles are a possible playoff team. Look, no one in their right mind thought that this team was going to be even in the conversation for a playoff run after the embarrassment.
Definitely not me.
Well, after the Raiders game, where I was confident they were going to win because I don't think the Raiders are that good, and I think the Raiders are finally showing their true colors, and he gets smacked up by the Raiders out in Vegas. I thought we're in the number one draft pick sweepstakes, and we stink, and it's just going to be a fight and a struggle to even talk about this team on the various broadcasts we do at A2D Radio. But they to Nick Sirianni's credit, it seems like he's won over this locker room, and he's working hard. This coaching staff's working hard to develop Jalen Hurts.
And the defense is creating some turnovers.
Yeah, how about Darius Slay?
Darius Slay has gotten 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
Three of the last 4 games he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. As I said, the key to the Eagles at this point just might be the defense. If the defense can keep things under control and they continue to run the ball the way they're running the ball, basically what they're going to do is they're going to score, and you're not going to have the football. And obviously, when you run the ball as well as they're running the ball, they're going to have the other team's defense wiped out by the fourth quarter, and they'll just own the fourth quarter, and you'll never see the ball. What will happen is the Eagles, what was happening to the Eagles the first half of the season, is going to start happening to their opponents because of the way they're playing now and the way they're running the ball. What they've done is they've taken Jalen Hurts, and really Sirianni's done a good job taking the team and playing to its strengths instead of to its weaknesses, and understanding that even though passing is in vogue right now, and that's how the NFL is played, he's playing to his team's strengths, and they're being very, very successful. So, it's going to get to a point where they're definitely going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I don't think that they could beat any of the playoff teams right now that they'd have to face in the first round if they end up with the 7 seed. I just don't think that that's going to happen.
Unless things drastically change, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to do that. Just because,
everything would have to go right.
Yeah, the problem is you're whoever you're facing in the playoffs, you're going to be facing another franchise quarterback. You're going to be facing top receivers, and it's going to be tough because in the NFC, all these teams have superstar receivers, and it's going to be up. It's going to be, as I said, the defense is going to have to really strengthen up and tighten up. And if they can start doing this, even against the lesser teams in the league who they're going to be playing, this is a good chance for them to get some confidence, to start putting things together. And if they can do that and their defense plays solidly in the playoffs, you never know.
And Pete Evans just echoing, what I just said. Agree to the poll, but everything must go absolutely right, perfect for them to win. Like, yeah, you need Hurts to make throws. You need the defense to get turnovers. You got to run the ball extremely well. And, you may need, your opponent to have an off day. You might need to hope they go out drinking the night before and they take the Eagles a little light. But if I'm a top seed in the NFC right now, I'm looking at this Eagles team right now, and
Well,
I don't want them coming in.
If I'm the Rams or if I'm the Packers or if I'm Tampa Bay, I don't know that I'm that nervous about them right now. But I mean, if they come in and they make it hot, having an excellent second half and winning a lot of games, as I said, that, and not sneaking in through the back door, not backing in, but going out and winning these games and forcing the issue, they're going to be a tough out. But all these teams, you take a look at all these teams, they seem to have that are directly in competition with the Eagles, like the Vikings. I mean, they have Dalvin Cook, they have Jefferson, so they have a couple of big time players on their offense. The Saints, I don't think the Saints are going to make it because I just don't think that they have enough. I don't like Simeon. He's not a franchise quarterback. I mean, listen, I'm not saying Cousins.
Simeon's not even a backup, Brad.
No, he's
a third stringer.
Yeah, he's terrible.
And then for the life of me, I don't understand. They give Taysom Hill a big contract extension today, and I haven't seen him once since Jameis Winston went down.
I don't really understand why they insist on Simeon and not play Taysom Hill. I think Taysom Hill can play, but
Michael Bernardo, he's checking us out on Facebook. Anything can happen. Need them to keep this momentum. Lose one more game this season, and that's if Dallas rests their starters. We win no problem. We can actually win out. Now, look, I can't sit here and
preach that
the Eagles are going to 6-0
because
6-0.
They haven't been consistent enough to prove that they can do that. I think it'll be tough for them to sweep both the Giants and Washington. I think that the Giants and Washington are not that bad. They're not Jacksonville. Let's put it that way. You're not talking about horrible teams. They're both pretty competitive. So we'll see. I think that the Giants think that they still have an opportunity. I think that the Washington football team still thinks that they've got a shot. Minnesota for sure thinks they have a shot. And I'll tell you what, that drive Kirk Cousins put together to win the game for the Vikings yesterday, that when he's on, he is definitely capable of making big plays. I mean, he made that big play in the playoffs against the Saints a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday against a quality Green Bay Packer team, he led them to a victory. And listen, you got to give it to him. You got to give him some credit there. It's not an easy thing to do.
And Michael Bernardo, he absolutely agrees with our poll question. He says Jalen Hurts going to win a playoff game this year. I hope so, man. That would be awesome.
That would be, but we'll have to see.
Because you know what that does, Brad. If Jalen Hurts wins a playoff game this year,
well, then he's going to be very, very confident, and then they're going to be tough to deal with.
Then you got your guy,
right?
You're not moving on from Jalen Hurts anytime soon.
I honestly don't. I think Hurts is here for the next two seasons.
Yes, I made a video about it on YouTube. Turn those notifications on all our social media. Get all the thoughts. Jalen Hurts after that Denver game. That Denver game was his best game, Brad.
Yeah, he played well that game.
And after that game, I said, you know what? This guy's getting better. He's showing growth. He's getting better. So I'm fine with him next year. Now, is Jalen Hurts going to be the quarterback in 3 years? I don't know. I'm not ready to go that far yet. But he is my quarterback next year.
You're not going to trade for. You're not going to make trades right now. In the off season, you're not going to do that. There's too much risk with the guys that are going to be available to make trades, and you know who I'm talking about. Okay, there's just too much of a risk, and the college football quarterbacks this year haven't really shown enough.
No.
To warrant any of them being real high picks. So if you have a quarterback that you think can lead you for the next 2 years, and you don't have to waste any picks on quarterbacks or start making trades with somebody else and giving up your draft picks to try to get a quarterback, that's huge.
And then he's on a rookie contract,
right? And that's why. I mean, this is what his second year. Hurts. So he's got 3 more years before you have to pay him.
2. Second round pick. You don't get that 5th year option.
Oh, they don't get the 5th year option?
No.
Okay. So they got 2 more years before he gets paid. So
like I'm taking every second of that to evaluate whether I'm going to give him $100 million.
Oh, absolutely.
Because right now, even though he's my quarterback next year, he's not. I'm not giving $100 million.
No, you can't do it yet. Not yet.
Michael Bernardo, he thinks that the Giants aren't going to win tonight. They might, but I do. I agree with you. I think the Giants hang tough tonight. I'm all over that plus 11.
I don't think that the Giants are going to win either, but I do think they're going to be highly competitive. I think if you're betting, I would take the 11 points.
Yeah, I think I saw it's up to 11.5 on DraftKings.
Okay, so
you get even more.
You wouldn't take them at 11.5 points.
I would. I'm all over it. I'm all over it, buddy.
Well, there's and really when you take a look at it, the Giants do have a very good cornerback. Okay, they can cover Evans. Okay, Bradbury is very good. I think he can keep Evans under control. And really, if you're going to control the passing game of the Tampa Bay Bucks, that's something you absolutely have to do. Is you have to at least you can't let Evans own the game.
Well, I mean, I think that the blueprint was to beat Brady was, made by Spagnuolo and your Giants with that NASCAR package and getting pressure up the middle, so he can't step up in that pocket and disrupt Brady that way.
Yeah, but remember though they had Strahan on one as one defensive end and OCU Manura on the other.
You know what?
Side.
You have who you have, and you got to get it done. There's no choice for the Giants.
I mean, they had Tuck and Cofield, and I think later they had I can't remember who. They had Chris Canty after that. So I mean, you have to look at the defense too, and realize how you execute. The Giants don't have that kind of a defensive line now. But yeah, you're right about one thing about Brady. If you can put pressure on Brady, then that's going to be the key. And that's the one thing the Giants have had problems with is getting pressure on the quarterbacks. Their defensive secondary is pretty good. They've got some good players in that secondary, but the pass rush has been very inconsistent. They usually have to blitz and send 5 or 6 guys. And against a guy like Brady, if you don't get there, he's going to kill you.
Look, I have the thing on. And Bryce, I see you. I'm going to get to you in a minute. I'm going to tell you why you should trust Howie and Jeffrey in this particular situation. I hate both their guts. So it calls me nothing but agita. But, Brad, every analyst on Monday Night Countdown picked Tampa Bay. So that usually means that they're all going to be wrong and the Giants are going to win. So I like that, especially with the plus 11 as well.
Yeah, that would be nice. Again, I can't sit here and say the Giants are going to win. That would be a completely homer point of view. I don't know that they can win this game. It's going to be tough. But as I said, I think that they're going to be highly competitive. They're going to have to play a perfect game, Rob. They can't be getting holding penalties. They can't get touchdowns called back because these are the things that always seem to plague the Giants. You can't be jumping offside when you stop them on third down. These are the things that the Giants always seem to do, and they end up killing them every time. It cost them a game against Washington. That was terrible when that happened because that they should be 4-5 right now, and there's a big difference between 3-6 and 4-5. it's these are the kind of things that teams do. The Giants should have won the Kansas City game. I mean, they had no excuse. They had that game. They had that game completely under control, and they let him off the hook at the end.
And getting to Bryce here. Love you, Bryce. Thanks for checking in again. I'm still concerned Howie and Jeffrey don't see it in Hurts and would make a play for Wilson, etc. First off, Russell Wilson ain't coming here. Russell Wilson has a full no trade clause, and he's not coming here because you're going to give up multiple picks, and you're going to have a flawed roster around Russell Wilson, and he's not going to sign up for that. So he's going to veto the trade. Aaron Rodgers ain't coming here either, and I'm not giving up the capital for Deshaun Watson with all those question marks. The reason Howie Roseman won't steer away from Jalen Hurts is because he's on that rookie contract for the rest of this season and 2 years after that. The one thing Howie is good at, and the one thing that Howie understands, is salary cap. And he understands that if you can have a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs, maybe win a game, or even get you to the doorstep of the playoffs, and you can use your resources on not the quarterback position, Howie is smart enough to realize that that's your best option. So Jalen Hurts isn't going anywhere. He's not going to. Don't worry about that. Howie can mess this whole thing up any which number of ways, but he's not going to mess it up in that standpoint because he understands the cap and resource allocation. Now, when
I would agree. That's not. Yeah, he's not. They're not going to do that.
So Jalen Hurts going to be here. Now, when they have to make a choice a few years down the road, whether to give this kid $100 million or move on and go another route, then that gets a little hairy for Howie because he doesn't know his ass from his elbow when it comes to talent evaluation. But knowing that your franchise quarterback is on a quarterback for the next 2 years, Howie understands that.
And there will be they're going to be knocking on the door now for they have a legitimate opportunity to make the playoffs. They can control their destiny because of the strength of schedule. I think they're one game behind a 1 game or a half a game behind most of these playoff teams right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're one of the only teams in the hunt that haven't had their bye yet.
Right, so they're going to have to take a week off, but some of these teams are going to lose too. You're not talking about teams that are going to win 11, 12 games.
And like if you look at because we both have stock portfolios, Brad. If you look at the Eagles as a stock, the ground level is the day you traded Carson, in my opinion, in my view. The day you traded Carson, we can't win with this guy. It's not working out. We need to reboot this thing. We need to get Carson out of here. And we need to build this thing back up.
I got to say something about all the people that are all worried about what Carson does with the Colts.
Who cares?
Stop worrying about it. He's not on your team anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got to get – you guys that are Carson Wentz fans, you guys got to get over that stuff. I mean, he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah. Whether you like him or you didn't like him, it doesn't matter.
Leave it alone. Worry about your own play. Worry about your team and worry about your players. Stop worrying about everybody else's team, everybody else that used to be on the Eagles. Oh, now we're going to have to watch. It just like Miles Sanders. Do you want to pay Miles Sanders, or are you going to? If you don't pay Miles Sanders and he signs with another team, are you going to sit there and harp on what he does every single week?
No, but it's the Carson haters, Brad. It's the Carson haters that still bring him up constantly.
Well, what?
I don't want to get in a Carson rabbit hole because he won me
money
yesterday.
No, I'm not
I understand, but it's the Carson haters. When he throws a left-handed interception to cost him the game, everyone wants to say, "See, Carson won 6." Like, who cares? He didn't lose the game for the Eagles. He lost the game for the freaking Colts, and they're not even in your same conference. Who cares?
Exactly. You know what? One thing that Carson has with the Colts that he didn't have with the Eagles, to be honest, is Jonathan Taylor. I mean,
unbelievable player.
That guy is he's really good. I mean, that does make a difference. And the Colts are starting to turn it on. They look real impressive.
But getting back to the stock thing, like the day you trade Carson and you reboot your quarterback,
you're cashing. You're
rebuilding. You're a rebuilding team at that point.
Right. You're cashing in, and now you're now you're buying a new stock.
And now this rebuild has been accelerated by a coach who all of a sudden knows what he's doing, is running the football, a defense that is playing well. So now, it took you 1 year to find Carson Wentz's successor as your franchise quarterback, and you had 3 first-round picks, partly because of the Carson Wentz trade. Like,
that's very fortunate.
This rebuild that I'm impressed with Jalen Hurts. This rebuild just got accelerated by 2 years, I would say.
Yeah, because you know what? Next year, this year the mission is to make the playoffs. Next year, you want to make sure you win it. You at least win a playoff game, maybe 2. You know, and we'll see what happens next year.
The national stigma on this team from the Colin Cowherds and Sports Illustrated and USA Today was this team was going to win 2, 3, 4 games. I didn't see it like that, but that's how most of the football community, from a national standpoint, viewed this football team. So then it's like, okay, let's say that they're right.
Nobody thought that they were going to be any good this year.
I had them 8-9.
Yeah, I had them 5-11. No, 5-12.
Whatever, but this year, it was set up. The rebuild was like, you stink this year. Then next year, you're in that 8-9 win range. And then the year after that, in 23, then you're knocking on the door for division championships and beyond. Now that I think I might, maybe, hopefully, please God, have my franchise quarterback, this accelerates the rebuild by 1.5 to 2 years.
Yeah, well, again, next year you're looking.
Bryce, let it go, buddy. Just let it go. It's done. It's over. The Eagles don't have Justin Jefferson. We have stinky, garbage Jalen Reagor, and you just got to let it go. Sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
That's okay. No. It is what it is. You can't change that.
Nope.
I mean, mistakes are made, but you know what? To think that but if you're able to get your franchise quarterback in the second round, then you know what? Okay. Sometimes that's what happens.
Taylor Bowers, one word, electric. Guy doesn't quit, and now that we're committed to the run, everything is opened up. I still need him. I still need Jalen Hurts to maybe he can do it this Sunday. Maybe he can do it against Washington. I still need him because he gets happy feet in the pocket, Brad. I don't know if you've noticed this watching the game.
What I've noticed is you have to play him the way you played the way you play RJ3, and the way you play Michael Vick, and the way you play Lamar. You got to keep him in the pocket. And if they're going to run, you have to try to make them run between the tackles. Now, unfortunately, Lamar runs between the tackles. It doesn't matter. But I haven't seen that.
Lamar's a freak. Jalen.
Yeah, he's just different. But I haven't seen Jalen run between the tackles. He's just so quick to get to the outside. If you can contain him and keep him in the pocket and make him throw the ball from the pocket, then you've got a shot. Then you've got a pretty good shot at stopping.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I know Eagles fans, at least smart Eagles fans, will know this. If he does a 3-step drop and his first read's not there, he just goes. He won't stand there and look here and look there and look at his second and third reads. He's got to get better at that.
Yeah.
But I'll give him next year, along with this year, to get better on that.
This is his first full season as a quarterback. He played quarterback, how many games did he play last year?
4.
4? Okay. I mean, 4 games is getting a little experience, but he's played the whole season. They've kept him in there through the good and through the bad. They kept him in there, and they let him play. And listen, there are certain, as I said, they are playing to his strengths right now. Now, the thing you have to worry about is if somebody can stop their running game or slow it down and make him try to beat you through the air. That's where the issues come in. But you know what? Quarterbacks in the league nowadays can run. If they're good runners, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, Josh Allen gets a lot of yardage rushing. Does anybody bitch about him?
No, but Josh Allen has a cannon.
I understand
that. Perennial MVP candidate and is going to be a perennial MVP candidate for a lot of years.
I understand that, but he's been pretty bad the last 3 weeks, though.
Well, I mean, look,
yesterday he was atrociously bad.
The Colts are good.
Yeah, I know, but he was bad. Trust me, I watched a lot of that game until it got ridiculous. I was watching a lot of that game. I mean, what killed the Bills yesterday was they fall behind 17-7. Okay, they had done a great job. They stopped the Colts inside the 10-yard line, made them kick a field goal. So it went from 14-7 to 17-7. Then on the kickoff, the guy on Buffalo returns the ball, falls on his own. He fumbles the football, and the Colts got the ball, and they ended up on the 2-yard line on the very next play. They gave it to Taylor, and that was it. He scored, and that was 24-7. And you know what? The Colts were off to the races.
Allen started inaccurate. I understand, Mike, but
he had a bad game yesterday. He threw a couple of picks.
Josh Allen also has God-given size and God-given strength that Jalen Hurts will never have.
He's got a great arm.
He's got cannon, and that can make up for a lot.
Oh yeah. He's still, what he hasn't learned yet is to not force the ball in. I mean, he's got such a strong arm. He thinks he can throw the ball into any window. He's got kind of the Brett Favre syndrome, and that he's got to stop.
I want to see a little bit of that from Jalen.
Yeah, well, if Jalen has
a little bit,
he doesn't have a great arm. But again, Dak Prescott doesn't have a great arm either. Dak Prescott, for the most part, throws most of his passes between the hash marks, and he's very effective doing that. He's not great on throwing down and outs. But he's really not. He showed it yesterday against that Kansas City defense. The Kansas City defense made him throw toward the sideline.
That was a piss poor game by the Cowboys. We're getting the AFC and NFC playoff picture around the league. Monday Night Football's getting ready. We'll live react to that. And then we got Eagles-Giants next week. So we got wall-to-wall football coverage right here until 9:30. And the Flight Zone. My boy Jimmy, my boy Evan, they're going to have wall-to-wall football coverage as well. Chad Carroll, crazy part is I think we can upset one of the top seeds. We almost beat the Cardinals last year. Look, I don't care about almost beating the Cardinals last year. That doesn't mean anything. The Cardinals are a way better football team than they were last year.
Right, and they're winning. The Cardinals, in case you haven't noticed, have been winning with Colt McCoy quarterbacking and without DeAndre Hopkins. So if that doesn't tell you just how good that football team is right now, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys.
They have no holes.
No, and yet they will be getting Kyler Murray back, and they will be getting DeAndre Hopkins back.
And look, I hear you. I've been said it 4 or 5 times this show. If I'm Tampa, if I'm Dallas, if I'm the Rams, if I'm Arizona, I'm watching this Eagles football team. I'm watching the highlights on NFL Red Zone every Sunday, and I'm watching how violent they are, and I'm watching how physical they are. And I think I might rather play the Saints, or I think I might rather play the Vikings, because Kirk Cousins will give one up. Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over. Part of the reason he doesn't turn the ball over is because he doesn't have that gunslinger mentality yet.
He hands the ball off a lot. I would say this about the Rams and Tampa: they're not going to out physical the Rams or Tampa. I mean,
they're right there with them. No, I heard that about the Saints going into this game, Brad.
Listen, I don't think the Saints were all that good this year. First of all, the Giants beat them at full strength.
Brad, you can't. I understand that their offense doesn't have Drew Brees, doesn't have Michael Thomas, and Kamara's hurt. I'm looking at the Eagles' offense against the Saints' defense because there's a lot of good football players on that Saints defense.
The Giants ran the ball against the Saints defense.
I get it.
Listen.
So what? What are the stats fake? Are you telling me the stats are fake?
I don't think that the Saints defense is all that good.
How have they let up the least amount of rush yards in the whole league?
Because they've given up the most passing yards in the league. That's why.
They have?
Pretty much. Take a look at the stats.
Maybe I will.
If
you're wrong, I'm gonna yell and scream at you for the whole rest of the show.
Their pass defense isn't
if
good.
that's true, if what you're telling me is true right now, and I don't have the stats for you, maybe someone maybe someone can look it up.
I know you're not a Giant fan, but you know what? I remember the Giant win in New Orleans, okay? And basically the Giants scored 17 points in their last 3 possessions. And you know how they scored 17 points? Because they threw the ball right down the field.
Frank, can you look that up backstage? The Saints pass yards, pass defense ranking. I'll get it right here.
Yeah,
right, talk about it. Looking at Giants defense.
They were really good against the Packers the first game of the season.
If what you're telling me is true, Brad, that the Saints stink against the pass, then that's a fake stat.
Well, it is
the Saints being the top run defense in the whole league is a fake stat.
The team does not defend the pass well. Okay, and again, if you can run against them, then it just makes it even easier to pass against them. I mean, you would think that they would be really good against the pass, but they're really not.
They have good players in their secondary. I don't understand why they wouldn't. All right, we kicked off the ball. I mean, we've kind of tipped our hand in terms of official predictions for this game, but I think Tampa ekes it out 24-20.
I'm going to say
so. Giants plus 11 would be a win.
I'm going to say 27-17 Tampa Bay.
And I would say under. I think the over-under is 49.5. I like the under.
Yeah, I like the under also. I like the under as well. But again, the key for the Giants in this game is going to be not falling behind early.
You got it. I disagree. I think the key to the Giants in this game, you got to get pressure, and they've done 2 quick passes right off the bat here.
Well, it's hard to get pressure when Brady is going back and throwing 3-step passes. You know.
How about this clown Antonio Brown?
Oh,
well, he is a clown. Something. He got a fake vaccination card, and now he's I don't even know. They say he has an ankle injury, but
yeah, you know what? It's always something with him. But he's a very good player, though.
They are.
Right now, they're going right through.
Well, I think a big key for the Giants in this game, we'll get back to all the comments and Eagles talk and AFC, NFC playoffs, Thanksgiving games, everything. But I think a big key, like Tampa lost last week.
Yeah,
they didn't look good doing it.
No.
So they're going to be ready to go here. They need to weather this Tom Brady early storm. And that goes to what you said as to not falling behind.
Right.
There's another reverse.
Look at this. He almost dropped the ball, too.
So they've just run 4 creative, outside-the-box kind of plays to try and get their offense on track.
Yeah, right now they're moving the football.
And they're going no huddle. No, they're huddling up now.
I don't know why.
Right. So Tampa probably substituted, so the refs wouldn't let them snap it.
They had to let the Giants substitute too. So
that was a great catch. Is that Gronk? No, it's Cameron Brate.
Yeah,
that was a great catch.
Yeah, that was a real good pass.
Someone looked up the.
Yeah, they're going.
Saints. Mike Marshall looked it up for us. Saints pass defense is in the middle of the road. So them being number 1, if their pass defense is middle of the road, Brad, that's not a fake stat that teams have been having trouble running the ball against them.
I would tell you it's not like they play in a very tough division either.
I mean, okay, but you know what? I'm so sick of this because every time some does something, you didn't play anybody. Your players on the schedule. Period. End of story.
I agree with you. I mean, you know, I would agree because it is what it is. You have a last place schedule, so you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt, but you still have to go out and win the games. And they did win the games, and finally the Giants actually keep Tampa Bay from gaining 10 yards a clip, which is what they've been doing on this drive.
We got another first down though. This could be crucial. Crucial right here. Keep Tampa Bay out of the end zone. Mike Marshall, Jalen Hurts is the highest QBR over the last 4 weeks. I mean, Mike, I'm not a fan of those types of stats. I use my eyes, but I mean, my eyes against Denver showed me that his acumen, and there we go. That's not good for the Giants. Chris Godwin.
No, they went down. They went down like a knife through butter.
Right through, but I mean,
that's a very bad sign for the Giants to let them walk right down the field like that.
Mike Marshall, highest QBR over the last 4 weeks. I mean, look, if you wanted to subscribe to the analytics and stats like that, God bless you. But I use my eyes, and I use what I've been watching about the NFL in this league for 32 years.
He's a real good runner. He's a really, really good runner.
He's a great runner.
They're playing to his strengths. The only problem is when you have quarterbacks that run the ball that often, there's always a chance that you can get hurt. So that's the one thing that they've got to make sure that they manage, so that he, when he runs, he's getting safe runs, so he can not get crushed by somebody, because that's going to be important.
So I know what I saw against Denver from a passing standpoint from Jalen Hurts, and it really impressed me to the point where I'm giving
Denver also kind of beat themselves that game.
Another season.
That Denver game, I watched the Denver game, and they, honestly, the Broncos really beat themselves with the penalties and just sheer stupidity. Fourth down, and you're down 20. What was it? It was 20-13 at the time. In the third quarter, and you're going for it instead of kicking the field goal. You go for it on 4th and 1, and then you fumble, and then Slay picks it up, and everybody just stands there like stones on the side of the road, and Slay just runs it in for a touchdown.
Well, they had all these offensive linemen in, and no one could catch them.
Yeah, well, they still all stood there. I mean,
yeah,
it was like they were so shocked that the fumble happened, or maybe they were in denial. I don't know. That was a weird play. But and Denver also committed a penalty when they scored a touchdown. Those are things that the Eagles were doing, but they're not doing that anymore. And they're not turning the ball over. They're playing good, smart football. As I said, they are playing to their strengths right now. And if they can continue to run the ball the way they've been doing, they're going to win a lot more games. I think they are going to make the playoffs. I don't think that they're ready to go to Green Bay or Tampa Bay or Arizona and win a playoff game, or the Rams. Not yet, anyway. I don't think that that's going to happen yet. But you got to admire the way the team is playing right now.
Taylor Bowers, check us out on Facebook. Goddard looks ready to fill those big shoes that he got paid for. I hope so, because I don't like the Dallas Goddard contract even a little bit. I don't like it even a little bit.
I just don't like paying a tight end $15 million a year unless it's like Tony Gonzalez or Travis Kelce. But we'll see how that works out.
I hope it works good, and I saw it coming from 3 miles down the road when they traded Zach Ertz. But I don't like 4 years, $57 million for Dallas Goddard even a little bit. I feel like I can find a Dallas Goddard in the 5th round of this year's draft. But that's me.
I don't know about that, but I think he's a good player. I think he's not a top. I don't think he's a top 10. He's not a top 10 tight end, and you're kind of.
I agree with you.
What you're basically doing with him is you're paying him based on a hunch, and it's not a bad gamble, because he has shown that he can play at a very high level. So
you do the kid a tremendous disservice by taking him with your first draft pick, a 2nd round pick, but the Eagles' first draft pick in the 2018 draft, when you have Zach Ertz in his prime. So he's stuck behind Zach Ertz. And now you're right. You're going on a hunch that he's equal to or greater than Zach Ertz.
He might be. And you know what? The contract could end up being a bargain.
I don't know. I don't like 57 million gambles.
I don't like that. I don't like that much money getting paid to a tight end. That's all. That's just me. I would rather spend it on a big time defensive player. But again, that's just me. That's kind of how I prefer to spend it. And here's Barkley on his first run, and he gets 2 yards.
Got to do something here. Got to do something here if you're Daniel Jones.
Well, I mean, the whole thing right now with the Giants, there's a lot of jobs on the line right now. I mean, you're just Dave Gettleman is hanging by a thread. Uh, I think Joe Judge is hanging by a thread. Jason Garrett is hanging by a thread. I think all these coaches and the general manager. I think if the Giants don't turn this around, they're all going to be gone. So I would hope that Garrett gets a little less conservative and starts letting the team play and throw the ball down the field a little bit more. You got all your guys now. Okay, other than Sterling Shepard, you got your team now. Let's go and let's play. Throw the ball down the field and let's go. Jones is capable of throwing the ball. Barkley can run the ball. Let's go now. Let's get it together. No stupid holding penalties, no illegal procedure, and play the game. And we'll see what happens here.
That's a good throw over the middle.
Yeah, and that's a good play. And again, guess who he throws the ball to? Galladay. I mean, this is what has to happen. They've got to have these guys playing.
Eagles champ 1. Howie Roseman needs to go. We need a linebacker. I'm hoping for a playoff berth this year. Look, you guys got to let it go with Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman's not going anywhere. As long as Jeffrey Lurie owns the team, which he's going to own the team forever.
You could always draft a linebacker in this year's draft. Especially if you don't have to draft a quarterback. There's Barkley, and that's a nice run. So
I don't know. Both teams are going up tempo. Maybe I was wrong about the under. I'll still take the 11. Maybe I should have picked the higher score. Mike Marshall, props to Nick Sirianni for playing to his strength. Nick Sirianni, don't look now. I know, you have Kingsbury and Belichick are probably the front runners for Coach of the Year. But if this team does something crazy and runs it out, and they're that was a weird. There's a penalty. I don't know what's going on there, but
there's going to be a holding penalty.
You have Belichick and you have Cliff Kingsbury, who are clearly at the top of the heap in terms of the Coach of the Year. But if the Eagles do something nuts, it's defensive holding or offsides, excuse me, on Jason Pierre-Paul. But if the Eagles and Nick Sirianni do something crazy, and run the table like some fans are suggesting, and finish 11-6, and pull the East right out of their ass.
That's asking a lot, though.
He's Coach of the Year. Then, in my opinion, no.
I mean, what about the Patriots, though?
Yeah, Belichick is probably the Coach of the Year
right now.
If it ended right
now, but it's not. But it's far from over right now.
And Cliff Kingsbury would be. He could win it. I mean, that's he's doing a great job too. I mean, we talked about all their injuries.
He's got a lot of talent, though. Most definitely. But
he does.
He's also playing in arguably the best division in the NFL. So I mean, there's never an easy game in the NFC West.
Dennis Allen, Giants. He's got the Giants with the upset tonight. So he's
and here's a good call.
And I know Dennis. He's a Cowboys fan too.
See, Daniel Jones can also run the ball to the outside, which he just made a nice little run there. So
Dennis Allen, Byron Leftwich heading for a head coach position in 2 to 3 years. I think that Byron Leftwich will be a head coach. That I think
this coming season.
Him and Todd Bowles would be my top 2 candidates.
Nah, Todd Bowles has had his chance and was bad as a head coach.
But I mean, if I'm looking for a head coach this offseason, and there's going to be teams that are looking for head coaches,
yeah, Bowles would not be someone I would recommend.
Oh, I mean, I would give him another chance. I think he's a great football mind.
He's had
chances. Did he go 10-6 with the Jets?
Yeah.
And that didn't get him in the.
The Jets were loaded that year.
Okay.
They were loaded that year, and also he's also had a chance with
I look at Todd Bowles, and I look at a guy who can definitely lead men. I definitely see a guy who can lead a 55-man roster in the battle every Sunday.
He's a great defensive coordinator, but I don't think he's a good head coach.
And I see the same thing with Byron Leftwich. He's gotten the stamp of
Leftwich.
approval from the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady.
I like Leftwich. I mean, I think he's going to be a coach next year. Quite honestly.
And then my third call would be Josh McDaniel. You know,
Josh McDaniel.
He's going to get another chance eventually.
He failed a long time ago with Denver. I think he deserves another chance.
I mean, Todd Bowles. Why does Josh McDaniel get another shot? Todd Bowles doesn't.
Because Bowles has already had 2 shots.
Who did he coach besides the Jets?
The Redskins.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Todd Bowles was the head coach of the Washington football team.
I believe he was. I have to look at it. I thought he.
I don't think.
I believe he's had 2 head coaching jobs. I'll have to look.
No, I'm looking it up right now. He didn't coach the Washington football team. You're nuts.
Wait a minute.
Or I'm nuts. One of us is nuts. We're both nuts, but we'll played coaching career, Miami Dolphins, secondary coach in Miami, secondary coach in Philadelphia, defensive coordinator in Arizona, head coach in New York, and then defensive coordinator in Tampa. So no, he's been a head coach once in New York.
Okay.
He was the head coach. It looks like.
What did he do? What did he do with what was he doing with Washington? He wasn't the head coach there.
He has never been on a Washington football team.
He played for the Redskins. My bad. Okay. I mean I thought he was the coach there. He played 8 seasons with the Redskins. That's why I thought he was the coach there. Giants just got an automatic first down, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of lost track. What happened? They're playing a replay right here.
They're going to show. They're going to
show
it.
Parlay is checking us out on YouTube. Look, can we put the draft stuff on hold? Let's put the draft stuff on hold. You got a chance to go to the playoffs and compete for a Super Bowl.
Boy,
not that they're gonna go to the Super Bowl or even do anything in the playoffs, but if you're in the dance, you got a chance to win it. You don't go to lose, so let's put the draft talk on hold.
You got to be in it to win it.
So the Dolphins are up to 4-7. The Eagles are on a run, and the Colts are on a run. So, all these draft picks that we've been talking about going to be in the top 10, they're going to be pushed to the middle to late portion of the draft. So let's worry about the draft after we don't have any more football games to play. And we're going to talk about it all on the Sports Hounds, on A2D Radio, on all the shows. So let's just stop with the draft talk. I can't do it when we're playing this well and we're talking about playoffs.
Absolutely. You shouldn't be thinking about the draft right now. You think about the draft the last 2 games of the season, not
now. Chad Carroll, he thinks Dallas Goedert's a top 10 tight end. Okay, I mean, go ahead. Dallas, go out and prove me wrong. Go be a stud. Go be a safety blanket for Jalen Hurts and make a bunch of Pro Bowls and be in the Eagles' Ring of Honor. Make me forget about Zach Ertz real quick. I'm all for it. I think it's a risky contract by Howie. That's all I say. And I think Avonte Maddox was a risky contract by Howie.
By the way, huge play right now for the Giants.
Yeah, we got 3rd and 9, and it looks like they're going to hit the Giants with a false start here.
I think Tampa Bay just jumped.
Nah, they hit them. They hit the Giants.
See,
Hernandez.
This is the kind of stuff that I talk about with the Giants, Rob. It's always the same story every week. They do it. They make a dumb play. They get themselves behind the chains, and now they've basically taken half the playbook away from the Giants because
now you just want to turn the ball over, not turn the ball over or take a sack and kick the ball in and have it be 7-3. He
can take a sack from where they are on the field.
I don't know who your kicker is, but
he's one of the best in the league.
Okay.
But you want to see it. You don't want to make a mistake and throw a pick. So, and that DeAndre Jones threw the ball away. He had 4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the area there. So, I mean, look, they got a field goal. At least they answered the drive. with a field goal. They kept the defense off the field, and hopefully they can make a few adjustments here and keep it close.
Bob Brinkman, Eagles need another receiver to step it up, give Watson or Ward a chance. That would give them a better chance against playoff teams. We see what Rager can do. Not much. Jalen Rager stinks. I'm sick of Jalen Rager. Stinks.
And the pick is good. So it's 7-3 now.
So 7-3. Dennis Allen, Kellen Moore maybe on the spot for a head coaching position. Listen, Dennis, if I were your Cowboys there, I don't know what happened on Sunday with the game plan, but it was a poor game plan. But I would feel more confident about the Cowboys going to the NFC Championship game with Kellen Moore as the head coach as opposed to Mike McCarthy.
Well, I will tell you what happened to the Cowboys against the Chiefs. Okay.
No, let's get into the rest of the league here.
The Chiefs are better. Okay, that's basically what it is, guys.
But I don't understand Dallas. They don't run the ball at all. I understand Zeke got a little banged up, but you still have Tony Pollard. He's a good player. CeeDee Lamb and Cooper. Cooper missed the game. CeeDee Lamb got hurt in progress.
But they still have Schultz, and they got what's his name back.
And your defense, which is all kinds of banged up, Brad, for Dallas. They hold Mahomes and the Chiefs to 19 points in Arrowhead. Yeah, and you can't do nothing.
They couldn't get
on offense. Dak, the almighty Dak, MVP Dak. That's all I hear from Dallas fans is Dak, how great he is. Now he's the MVP. You get 9 points against that Kansas City defense, which isn't great.
Although they played well yesterday, though. I thought they did what Kansas City did do yesterday. They did a real nice job tackling yesterday. You didn't see a lot of missed tackles.
And then you look at the Chiefs. This is what I saw for 20 years here in Philadelphia. Andy Reid. They're ready to hang him from the Walt Whitman Bridge in September and October. Then November and December come around, and they clinch the division. They have a 1 seed. They have home field advantage. They're in the NFC Championship game.
Who's in first place in the AFC West right now?
The Chiefs.
Okay, that's what you need to know.
Again, and I shouldn't be surprised, but I wrote the Chiefs off. I'm guilty of it.
Well, they really were playing pretty crappy football for a while there. They were, but things changed.
And Brett, am I crazy? Am I crazy to say that the New England Patriots are the favorites to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't think.
You think I'm crazy? I think they're the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah, but we'll see. I don't think that they're going to win a playoff game if they make it. I don't. Again, you know how I am about rookie quarterbacks. I don't think Mac Jones has been really
I hear
good.
You.
He's been really good, but you know what? When you play playoff games and you're a rookie quarterback, it's a little different. There's nothing like that experience once you get in, and that's one of the problems I could see with Hurts. You go into a playoff game and it's different.
There's Tom. He loaded up on the Giants.
Well, hopefully the Giant defense can do a better job in this series. Don't let them
Just weather the storm here. Just weather the storm here. Maybe you get a stop here, a sack or something.
Maybe you get a sack, or maybe Brady makes a bad pass. They're not doing the up-tempo offense now.
That's a little much there. It's a little aggressive. 6-7 yards on first down.
That's not.
They got to cut that out.
That's not good. Leonard Williams had to make the tackle. He must have gotten pushed backwards that he had to make the tackle 7 yards down the field.
But I'm looking at this AFC. I'm going to bring up the AFC playoff picture here, and I don't know. Maybe I have different perspectives on it than everybody else, and I always have a different perspective than the mainstream. But if I'm stacking these teams at right now, based on what I've seen through 11 weeks, I think the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl.
I would disagree with that. But again, you have every right to think that the way they've been playing lately.
Now, are they going to come back to earth? I forget who they're playing next week, but it's no, it's not.
No. Buffalo plays the Saints. I forgot who they're playing, but they're
playing They're playing the Titans.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game because the Titans really played.
They spit the bit yesterday.
They played a horrendous game against a god awful team, and you know what they did what the Buffalo Bills did in Jacksonville. Okay, they went and they lost the game to the lowly Titans, which is almost inconceivable to me. So the AFC's been weird. It's like one week after the other. It seems every week there's a different team that's the favorite, or somebody always seems to somebody seems to keep every time there's a team that everybody considers the team to beat, they get knocked off their tree. How about the Ravens yesterday? How they came back and won in Chicago and beat the Bears.
So here, I'm just gonna. Why I think it's my computer finally loaded. There's Gronk getting involved there.
Short game though.
So the Titans, and this is why I like the Patriots a lot. Titans are the 1 seed. I don't trust them without Derrick Henry. Sorry, I know they've had a great season so far. Yesterday was only so they're 8-3 now. And
two of their losses incredibly
were
against the Jets and the Titans. No, the Jets and the Texans, which is really hard to believe.
So Baltimore's the 2 seed at 7-3. I don't trust them at all because it's like Lamar Jackson and
yeah, but they won.
I feel like I'm watching the 0-1 Sixers.
They won yesterday without Lamar, and as a matter of fact, his backup.
I understand that, but I don't trust them in the playoffs based on what I've seen. And that's great. You come back and beat the Bears. Good for them. But I feel like I'm watching the 0-1 Sixers. I'm watching Allen Iverson, who's the equivalent to Lamar Jackson, who's the equivalent to Iverson.
Well, I'm thinking about
a bunch of role guys like Eric Snow and Aaron McKee, and they're getting it done at 7-3. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl, Brad. I really don't.
The Ravens.
Nor do I see the Titans going to the Super Bowl.
Well, from what I've heard, and I don't know how true this is. They're saying now that they think that what's his name, Henry's going to be back to start the playoffs
in January.
Yeah,
and that'd be a game changer.
Yeah, that would. But we'll see. I mean, I definitely think the Titans are going to figure out a way to make the playoffs.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, they'll find a way to make the playoffs.
So then I have 3 seed New England, who's just playing awesome.
Right.
So there's my top contender. They're the 3 seed, but I consider them the top contender. And then I believe in Kansas City, and I've talked a lot of shit on Kansas City, saying how they're not a good football team. But then I should have learned my lesson 20 years watching Andy Reid. September, October struggles.
They're back.
November, December. We're division champs.
Yeah.
We have a bye. We have home field. We're in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I think. Listen, if you're asking me if I think that the Los Angeles Chargers are going to go into New England and win a playoff game, my answer would be no.
The Chargers are an enigma.
They're just a weird team.
I don't understand. I gave up betting on them. I don't get it.
They're impossible to figure out. They
I had the Steelers. I had the Steelers +6 tonight, and I went to bed and thought it was a loser, and I woke up and the Steelers got 27 points in the fourth quarter. That's not championship football. So the Chargers, they're not going to the Super Bowl either.
No, but Justin Herbert is one hell of a quarterback, though.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He's really the whole team. Let's be honest. He's just.
I mean, Eckler, he's a nice little running back, but
yeah, and Keenan Allen is a pretty good receiver too.
I mean, Darius Slay has more touchdowns than Keenan Allen this year.
Yeah.
So then you look at then you go down. Cincinnati's the 5 seed. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
No, and I still wonder if they're going to make the playoffs.
Agreed. Then you got Bills Mafia sitting down there at 7. who, they have some – I understand they have some egg on their face, but that's a good football team. McDermott's a great coach. They have a great quarterback. Don't
really get what's going on there. The last couple of weeks, it's been bad.
You play the Colts and you get hit in the mouth and you lose. They still have 2 games against New England, and that it'll be decided there. And they might be a wild card because I don't think they're as good as New England right now.
They may not be. And
then you look at the team. So the 8 seeds, the Steelers. The Steelers might make the playoffs, but in no way do I believe in them to make a run to the Super Bowl. Indianapolis is interesting because if Carson cannot do the remedial turnovers that he's susceptible to, and they can keep Jonathan Taylor going, they have a great offensive line, they have a great coach, and they have a great defense.
And they have pretty good receivers too, by the way.
Good weapons. It's a really complete football team. Really complete football team. It's unlikely. So I think the Colts have a better chance to go to the Super Bowl than the Chargers.
Yeah, but the Colts aren't even in the playoffs right now.
I think they're going to get there. See, I think the AFC is going to hold like it is right now. But I think the Bengals are going to miss, and I think the Colts are going to get in.
Well, if you're asking me who I think is better between the Colts and the Bengals, I think the Colts are a much better team. Oh, boy, that could be interference. They're lucky that wasn't – the Giants are lucky that wasn't interference.
And then, you have Vegas. I think they're dead. I'm in time in Kent 10, and I know Tom Arnone's listening. I know we've been right there in lockstep on Baker Mayfield. But I can't do it anymore with the guy. It's just I can't do it anymore with the guy. I just don't think he's just that. I've given up on him. Who? I don't think he's a championship caliber.
Derek Carr?
No, Baker.
Oh, Baker Mayfield. No, They're that's another team that's really strange. Boy, did the Giants make sure that they didn't hit Brady? Did you see?
Well, yeah. Especially with Brady.
Yeah. He's sliding, and the Giants are like jumping to get out of the way because if you lay a finger on him.
So now obviously, could the teams that I poo-pooed, like the Titans and Baltimore, get it together and make a run? Of course. But that's how I would rank the contenders in the AFC. New England, Kansas City, Buffalo, and then my wild card long shot would be Indianapolis. And I think that the top 7 right now is going to hold true. Except I think that the Colts are going to get in and not the Bengals.
I would agree with that. I think I could see that happening.
Because then you got, Cleveland's 6-5, but they play Baltimore this week, and I don't think that's going to go well for them.
Is Lamar going to be playing?
I would assume yes. It's a non-COVID illness.
Oh, okay. Well, then he probably will be back next week.
He should be in there.
Play.
That was a good play by the Giants. Not sure who that was that got up, but this is a big third down for the Giants. Then you're getting into the 5-5 teams like Vegas and Denver. I don't believe in
Denver's them. Denver's not all. Denver's terrible.
And then you have Miami at 4-7. They're just too far behind. Even though I do think Miami's better than their talent on their team is better than 4-7.
Tell you what,
I think there's good players there.
Yesterday, Tua has a real strong arm.
He's coming along.
He's been playing, but he made a line drive pass, and it was a 40-yard pass yesterday on one of the Dolphins' touchdowns. That was a real nice. Most of the time when guys throw 40-yard passes, there's like a little loop. He went and he just fired a BB 40 yards. Yeah, that guy really has an arm.
Talk about a BB 3rd and 4. Tom Brady just threw the ball about 250 miles an hour to.
Yeah, it's amazing how strong his arm still is.
And then the bottom of the AFC is Houston, Jacksonville, and the Jets, and they're not going anywhere.
No. No.
Then you look to the NFC, and the NFC is super top heavy because
Yeah.
you have Arizona. Let me get back. Can I get to
Yeah,
that?
Arizona, Green Bay, and
Let me get to the list.
And Dallas.
Because you have 5 teams that I could.
And the Rams.
Right. Arizona, Green Bay, Dallas, Tampa Bay, the Rams. One of those teams is going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. Because even though we're excited because the Eagles might sneak into this thing, and Vikings fans are excited that they might sneak in, and New Orleans and all the way down to
talent-wise, the Vikings are a supremely talented team.
On defense, you think?
Offense. Well, when you have a guy like Dalvin Cook and you have a guy like Jefferson,
I get it, but
you also think about this. Their number 2 receiver is Adam Thielen. I mean,
Brad, they're matched up. They're the 6th seed right now. They'd be matched up against the Cowboys. They lost to the Cowboys when they had Cooper Rush playing. So how am I supposed to take the Vikings seriously against one of those top 5 teams?
I'm just saying that I think that they're going to find they're going to be the 6th team, and I think that it's going to be wide open as to who the 7th team is going to be.
See, I don't know, because the Vikings are playing. They're going to play the Niners this week.
That's going to be a very interesting game. And that's good for the Eagles because you know what? One of those teams are going to have to lose.
Right. And obviously you don't have the tiebreaker over San Francisco.
So you want San Francisco to lose. You want the Vikings to win. Because I don't think the Eagles play the Vikings this year. And the Giants stop Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's going to have to settle for a field goal.
It's good for +11.
Yep. That keeps them in the game.
Who knows? You can miss it.
I don't think so.
So he's pretty good. So
25 yards is pretty close, Rob. I mean, not that I've
seen it happen,
but that's a pretty easy field goal for a.
But I just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I just think when the chips are down and he's got to clinch a playoff spot for the Vikings, he's going to give it up. That's how I always feel about Kirk Cousins.
Well, he has done it. He has done it notably twice. Okay, he did it against the Bears as a Viking, and then against the Giants back in 2016 when the Giants went 11-5. The Giants were 10-5 and already clinched a playoff spot, and Odell Beckham wasn't even playing in the second half, and Kirk Cousins could only put 10 points on the board against that Giant team in 2016.
Now look, you're absolutely right about the weapons on that team. I mean, Justin Jefferson is terrific.
But all I'm saying is the weapons on that team, they probably have the most talent with those weapons. However, it's not always about that.
But do they have they have the skill guys? But I would give the Eagles and the Niners,
well, they both have better defenses.
Yeah, the defensive edge, and certainly the physicality edge, and the physicality, offensive line trench. Where football's won. I think the Eagles
I would give them the little nuances too, if you know what I mean. The intangibles. I think that's the right word, right? The intangibles. Yes. Yeah, I would give them both the intangible factor as well.
Those would be my selections right now.
I think Minnesota's going to figure out a way to get into the playoffs. I think the Eagles are going to probably have to.
No, because if Minnesota's getting in, I already know. Because we need Minnesota to fade here in Philadelphia. Because I already know. Because if it's between the Niners and the Eagles for the 7 seed, the Eagles are going to get boned because they lost to the Niners.
Yeah, but you know what? The Niners still have a much tougher schedule than the Eagles do.
Well, no one has an easier schedule than the Eagles. You play the NFC East,
right,
and the Jets.
Correct.
That's all you got left. So no one's got an easier. Now, whether they can take advantage of that, we'll see.
It's not their fault they played all their tough games already. I mean, they had a tough schedule this year.
It was a front heavy schedule.
Right. So I think
the Niners are going to be 6. and the Eagles are going to be 7.
So you think it's going to be between basically Minnesota and the Eagles for the 7th spot?
Correct, because I think the Niners
throw
are.
Out, I think you can throw. I think you're right that you can throw New Orleans out. They're not.
No,
they're not
Trevor Siemian is not going to the playoffs.
No, and I don't think.
And then you go.
I think Buffalo is going to go into New Orleans.
And then we can put the Giants and the Washington football team.
Well, you guys can put them away if you beat them.
But if the Giants, because look, Washington, they won yesterday and they beat Tampa, so they're on a 2-game winning streak.
Okay,
if they keep winning and they win these NFC East games, they're going to be right there.
They just showed the stats of the Giants when they played New Orleans. Daniel Jones that game threw for 402 yards. So it's not my imagination that the Saints can't stop the pass. So, I mean, I know we had that discussion.
Well, I mean, we looked it up, and they were a middle of the road passing defense.
I know. I'm just saying, Daniel Jones threw for 400 yards against them. So, you can take that for what it's worth.
What do you make of Carolina? They're at 5-6. They got Cam Newton back.
Right.
Beat Carolina
with
Darnold.
With Darnold. So did the Giants with Darnold. They lost.
So that's two tiebreakers they're not going to have.
That's 5. They're 5-2 with what's his name with their big time running back
McCaffrey,
correct. So they're 5-2 with him in there, and they think they won. I don't think they won a game with Darnold, did they?
I don't think so. Maybe 1 or 2 at the beginning. But
without McCaffrey, I don't think they won a game without McCaffrey. I think they lost every game.
So I'm going to eliminate Atlanta because I think they stink.
Yeah, Carolina might be. I mean, Carolina might contend. I mean, it's still. Listen,
I'm going to keep Carolina. Carolina's still in the hunt. The teams I'm eliminating in the NFC that don't have any chance of making the playoffs and certainly don't have any chance to do anything in the playoffs once they get there are the Falcons, the Bears, the Seahawks, and Detroit.
Well, Detroit's probably eliminated already.
Yes. But out of respect for Don 19, who watches the show, I will mention.
They won't be 0-17 at least.
No. 16-1.
Yeah.
See, now that's not good. You're 3-2 and you can't pick it up.
No, because for some reason they didn't trust their running game enough to try to run the ball against them.
You got to pick that up against teams that as good as Tampa.
Oh, absolutely.
You just have to. And then that dope doesn't catch the ball. And what's he doing? Let it roll.
This is what the Giants do, Rob. You have to understand.
I guess it could have bounced forward, and you can't tell on TV. But
no, but maybe the coaches were yelling at him to catch the ball. So who knows?
All right, let's do some early leans because we got a big Thursday slate, and we got some monster matchups in the NFL coming up in Week 12. All right, let's go. It's Thanksgiving, Thursday, 12:30. The Bear, really lackluster.
A god-awful first game.
Yeah, sorry.
Did Justin Fields get hurt again?
Yeah, he bruised his ribs, and he's questionable on Thursday.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play.
I mean, it's the Bears and the line. I'm playing golf on Thursday, so I don't even care about this game. I'm not going to bet on this game, and I don't care. I don't have anyone in fantasy in this game, nor should anybody else.
I'm going to take the Lions.
Plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions because you know what? The Bears can't score. That seems to be a problem. And you know what? The Lions, I don't think the Lions are going to go a whole season without winning.
So this could be it. I like that. So they'll be 1-15-1.
They might, yeah. I mean, listen, I think
they'll beat the Bears.
I think that they're going to beat the Bears are the one team that they could beat because the Bears don't score enough.
They're really that defense that has a lot of talent on it. All the talent's hurt.
Yeah, and
I like that.
And they lost, and they just lost to the Ravens with their backup quarterback. And
that's not a good look at all.
He did not play well.
And that Nagy he's terrible.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not good.
You know what I would do if I were the Bears? I would get Nagy out of there, obviously, and get somebody. Maybe that Greg Roman, who developed Lamar Jackson. Maybe give him a chance with Fields. Because Fields can throw the ball better than Lamar Jackson. Or Jalen Hurts, for that matter.
Fields does have a big arm. Again, it's hard, though, with rookie quarterbacks. He doesn't really have a lot of players on that offensive side of the ball.
Well, you also got to see if Jared Goff is going to play. Because Tim Boyle started for the Lions yesterday, and he was dreadful.
Oh, then if he's healthy, he'll play.
There it is. Wow, what a play.
There you go.
What a play.
How about that?
Is that Bradbury?
How about that?
Well, I don't know what Tom Brady's doing because that's the third or fourth short pass that he's just thrown 150 miles an hour, and you don't need to do that.
Why do you burn it in there to Evans when he's maybe 10 feet away? What do you throw?
I don't get. He's all hopped up because he lost last week.
And Ari Jackson is there for the interception, and now the Giants have a chance to tie up this football game.
I don't understand why you throw the ball 85 million miles an hour right there. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You got to calm down and chill. I know he's mad that he lost last week, but, I mean, to me, that picks on Brady.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? The other thing is I think that Brady's got an attitude when it's the Giants because he's still mad that he lost twice to them in the Super Bowl. Even though this team is in no way, shape, or form anywhere near that level, and they don't have the same quarterback. I don't think any of those players are still on the team. I think Brady's still got an axe to grind with the Giants for whatever reason. And here's Jones to the 3.
Yeah, I don't like that play call at all.
It could have been worse, but I mean, you got Saquon Barkley to run the ball. You got Devontae Booker to run the ball. How about giving it to them?
They're going to get him killed.
Well, that's part of the problem. They did that in Dallas. They were letting him. They kept having him run the ball between the tackles, and he ended up getting hurt. He had some room, but
that's the strength of their whole defense is their middle linebackers with David and White. Look, and now this play doesn't have a chance, and then an offensive lineman just catches a touchdown. I don't know if that's even legal.
Obviously, he reported in as an eligible receiver. That's a hell of a play.
Andrew Thomas, that helps no one in fantasy, but I mean,
who cares? Who cares? That's to be able to throw the ball to Andrew Thomas. They had him checked in as a tight end. That's a hell of a play. And that's a huge score for the Giants because now they have a chance to tie it up, and who knows? And I told you the Giants were going to give them a good fight tonight. I don't think they're going to win the game, but and don't forget last year when they played this team, they got robbed. They should have won that game too. If you remember, there was a pass interference that not called against Tampa Bay when the Giants went for 2 points to try to win that game. So
all right, getting back to the Thanksgiving slate here, the Las Vegas Raiders, they're going to Big D. 7-point line.
Dallas is going to smoke them. Dallas is just going to smoke them. Oh, my God. They're going to kill them. The Raiders have been playing horrible football lately.
No Cooper, no Lamb. Maybe no Zeke. That defense is banged up. I'm not playing that game. You like Dallas?
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to smoke them. The Raiders have really played poorly the last 3 weeks. They've been bad.
Then the nightcap on Thanksgiving.
That's going to be a big game. I think that's going to be a.
I love the Bills here. This is a hammer play.
Yeah, I think the Bills are good. They're going to go into New Orleans. They're going to get away from their home crowd, who's booing the crap out of them the last couple of weeks, and go into New Orleans. New Orleans is terrible. If they don't have Kamara, they're not going to be able to run the ball.
I don't see how Trevor Siemian can keep up with that Bills offense, who's going to be in a dome in a controlled climate. And
keep in mind yesterday, that game in Buffalo, the weather was just atrocious. I mean, it was pouring rain. It was windy. And Indianapolis, shockingly, who also plays in a dome, just played better. They played a clean game. Buffalo did not play a clean game. They made so many mistakes, so many turns.
I think that the Bills are well coached enough that they're not going to have two clunkers in a row. McDermott's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, no, I think they come back next week. I
love that. I love that. I love that play.
I think these next 4 weeks, you're going to see them turn things around. They're going to straighten out the ship.
Getting to Sunday, big one in the AFC North. Big one in the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the Cincinnati Bengals.
Boy, it's
a 3.5 point line. The Bengals are home. They are favored by 3.5.
Pittsburgh is they're a tough team to figure, Rob. They came back on the Chargers yesterday and then blew it at the end. They had that horrible tie at home against Pittsburgh. I mean,
I don't think they're that great, honestly.
No,
I like the Bengals here.
But I think you're right. Pittsburgh's defense just isn't good anymore.
Well, T.J. Watt's out. Fitzpatrick's been banged. Minka Fitzpatrick's been banged up.
No, you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the talent's there, but I don't trust. And I know Big Ben had a big fourth and got them back in the game, but I don't really trust them. And the Bengals I think their Bengals are a good football team. I really do.
They're pretty
good. Defense is better. They're blocking for Burrow up front.
They had a couple but even they had a couple of really bad games the last couple of weeks, and then they're
not a great football team.
They turned it around this week against the Raiders. So, yeah, I would have to give them the edge.
Then we got a team that I think is the best in the AFC, the New England Patriots. They're hosting the team that is the best team in the AFC right now. They're the 1 seed at least. Patriots favored by 5.5 in Foxborough over Tennessee. I kind of like the Titans here, Brad. I'll take the 5.5.
I'll take the 5.5. Are you kidding?
Especially because you can't tell me that football team wasn't peeking ahead to
absolutely. That was
peeking past the Texans.
Listen, that was a trap game for sure.
So I like the Titans to cover the 5.5 there. Carolina heading down to Miami. I think Tua might have turned a corner here. Yeah, Miami's getting 2 at home. I like the Dolphins here.
Yeah, I do too. Miami look good. I mean, I know it was the Jets, but Tua the last few weeks, Tua has really played well.
Look, they have Jalen Waddle, who's really good, who I couldn't talk about enough leading up to the draft, if you remember.
And he is fast.
Gesicki is a good tight end. I think Gaskin, there's Gronk getting loose there on you. I don't know what the Giants were doing there.
How do you let Gronkowski get that open down the field?
And but getting back to the Dolphins, I think Gaskin is coach Flores. I think they have good pieces on defense, 2 great corners. So I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe Cam Newton gets more in the swing of things and is able to win that game. But if I'm an Eagles fan, or if your Giants can win this, we want Carolina to get on out of there, have them lose, fade out of it. So I like the Dolphins.
Well, we both have we also both have them in case of a tie. So
here's a stinker: the Jets traveling to Houston to take on the Texans.
I like the Texans.
Sure. I have nothing else to say about that football game.
Yeah, I like the Texans at home.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Giants.
Here's another stinker. The Falcons traveling to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is getting 1 point. I couldn't care less about spending 1 second of our airtime on this game.
No. Although for just for the hell of it, I take Jacksonville.
kind of do or die here in the AFC West for the Broncos. They're going to host the Chargers. They're getting 3 points at home.
And they're going to lose.
Denver's going to lose.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are the Chargers. You know, the way they fought back yesterday after blowing that big lead. That was just awesome. And you know what? Justin Herbert is he's a fabulous quarterback. Yeah, there you go. Is that a fumble?
No, I think that's incomplete.
Okay.
That guy's pretty good out of Notre Dame. Julian Love.
No, he's really good. He had already. That was a nice play. He had already. You know, Peppers wasn't even starting anymore before he got hurt. Because Love took the job away from him. Love's been a good player for them.
And what? He's playing safety.
Mm-hmm.
He was a corner at Notre Dame. Transitions to safety
they have
in
him
the
playing
NFL.
safety. That's just not good. Braid again. I mean, you know what? It's.
I don't know if you're gonna play zone against Brady and not bring any pressure. I mean, you're gonna get picked.
Well, that's been
you're gonna get picked apart.
Rob, that's been the problem for them all season. Is that
look, that linebacker's in the hole. I mean, you got to shift your feet a little bit.
First of all, they back off. They back off and they give away too much. They've got pretty good corners. I just don't understand why they do a little bit more press coverage.
I mean, Bradbury's flat-footed in his zone. Love is flat-footed in his zone, and then you got the linebacker underneath. That's kind of caught because you got the back across the middle.
Don't forget they're missing probably their best defensive player.
And they give up the edge and they can let up a touchdown to Ronald Jones.
So now it's 16-10.
16-10, yes.
Yeah, so it'll be 17-10.
Let's get back to these games here in Week 12, and we'll get into some Eagles-Giants stuff. Getting into the 4 o'clock games. Minnesota traveling to San Francisco. San Francisco is a 3-point favorite. This is a huge game in terms of the NFC wild card.
You know what? I like Minnesota.
You do?
Yes. There's a lot of stuff that I've seen from San Francisco that I don't like this year. For one,
what? Because I think they've been getting it together.
Well, the way they played a couple of weeks ago against the Cardinals, they were just terrible, and that was when the Cardinals had McCoy quarterbacking, which they do now, by the way. They have McCoy quarterbacking, and there was no DeAndre Hopkins either. And I think they beat them by 17 points, and I don't have a lot of faith in the 49ers right now.
Okay. Look, I mean, I don't know. It's close to call. I'll go with you. I'll take the 3.
Listen. When in doubt, you take the points. You know that. That's kind of the Bible. That's kind of the Bible that's kind of the Bible unless it's a ridiculous play.
And then you got huge playoff home field advantage, huge playoff implications at the top of the NFC. The Rams travel to Green Bay. Green Bay is a 1-point favorite.
You know what? I'm going to take Green Bay.
I don't know. They've been looking mortal. I like the Rams here. I do.
On the road, though? Lambeau Field is a tough place to play.
I'm confused because I thought I heard Aaron Rodgers say how he has a bye week coming up.
It's not this week.
I guess not. They're playing the Rams.
Yeah.
I like the Rams because, I mean, look, McVay's going to have the extra week to get ready. McVay's going to have the extra week to try and get Odell Beckham some type of package that he can, sink his teeth into.
He can let him throw a couple of passes, too.
Yeah.
He can do that,
I think they have a good run game. Look, I think the Rams just kind of hit it.
Listen, the Los Angeles Rams have, without question, superstars in every area of their team. So they got Cooper Kupp, who's great.
Terrific.
Aaron Donald on the defensive line. Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. They have a real good offensive line. I think Stafford is really good. Stafford has had a couple of bad games like he did in Detroit.
I think he bounces back. I'm really rooting for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I am too. I just think he's played, something now that I think about it, he's played Green Bay enough. You should know what he can do and what he can't do against Green Bay. So maybe you're right.
I like the Rams here. I think they get it right after the bye.
I'm with you. I'll take the Rams.
It's Lambeau Field, and the Packers only favored by 1.
Yeah, what's the weather going to be like?
I don't know.
You know what? It doesn't really matter because the Rams can play in any kind of weather with the talent they have. I would wonder about Green Bay. I mean, they're not as effective. Green Bay can't be as effective. I don't care if they play in Green Bay. If it's snowing out or there's something bizarre going on weather-wise, how good are they going to be?
Here comes a possible trick play. A little reverse from the Giants. Was that Tooney, number 12?
Yes, it is.
Man, he's fast.
Yes, he is. Finally got him the ball. I think that's the first time he's gotten the ball tonight. No, that was John Ross. That wasn't Tony. That was Ross.
No, whoever it was, he was fast. Sunday night next week, Cleveland going to Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 4.
I love Baltimore. In that game.
I don't know. I kind of like the 4 here.
Yeah, I don't like the Browns. And look at
this
this
trick play. Well, that's got to be pass.
Oh, that's pass interference. There you go. Now we're on the 11-yard line. Oh boy.
How can you even argue that if you're number 23?
I don't know.
And then next Monday night during our broadcast, the Seattle Seahawks, who stink, are going to take on the Washington football team. And
I wouldn't be – where's the game at?
Washington? It's in Washington.
I would not be surprised if Seattle came back and won that game.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be Russ's 3rd game back. I could buy that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because, it's not like they're a bad team. Okay? They're not a bad team.
They're 3-7.
I know, but they haven't had Russ. Russ hasn't played in a while, and
they have no offensive line. They have no running game. Their defense isn't great.
No,
they're a bad team. Seahawks are a bad team. If you're 10 weeks in and you're 3-7, you're a bad team.
What is their? Wait a minute. What's going on? Was that not a penalty?
I don't know what happened.
See, this is why I can't stand this crap with Tampa Bay because Brady's on the team, and are you kidding me? That wasn't pass interference.
What? I don't know what happened.
How is that not pass interference?
They should have the ball on the 11-yard line.
They have the ball on the 11-yard line. Are you kidding me? That's Tony.
That's Tony, number 89 there. He's electric.
How is that not pass? Boy, I mean, it's just another. The referees hate the Giants, obviously, because that's a joke. That's a joke that wasn't pass interference. I mean, he pulls the guy.
This is a big play. You got to do something because you have your only touchdown because of that pick.
Right. There's an offside, so that'll be a first down. That was unabated.
Looks like someone called a timeout. Looks like someone called a timeout before the snap. It's tough when you don't have the volume on.
Yeah. I guess it was the Giants because the Giants now have 2 timeouts.
But anyway, it's Giants week. This is kind of our bread and butter. These weeks are always fun for us. For those of you who weren't with us with the top of the show, me and Brad and John Coyle, we're going to be down doing the rant booth, 11:30 a.m. Sunday, leading you up into the Giants-Eagles game. Brad, it looks like Jordan Howard is going to miss the game. He sprained his knee late in the Saints game. So it's going to be Miles Sanders and your old friend Boston Scott running the football for the Eagles.
Yeah, they've got to figure out a way to stop him. That's for sure, because they just never seem to have an answer for him. So we'll see. I mean, look, right now the Eagles are playing better football than the Giants. So did he just throw an
Is that
interception
a
or
pick?
what? I have to see this on replay.
Well, it can't be a catch, right?
I wouldn't think so. Maybe it is. Maybe the play was over. Or maybe it was a fumble out of bounds. It was a fumble out of bounds. Let's see if he 1, 2. Yeah, that's a catch. It
I
was
don't
a
even
catch
know
and a
anymore.
fumble. Yeah, well, he takes 2 steps. He's already got the 2 steps, so that's a completion. See, 1,
And it's a first
2.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a fumble.
So, I mean, I think the strength of the Giants team. Obviously, it's tough to talk about the Eagles and the Giants this early in the week, especially when the Giants are playing right now, and you don't know like what's going to happen in this game. But
No.
it seems to me watching this game is that the Giants, the strength of their team is the defense.
They got good receivers too when they're playing.
But like, is this the game where the Eagles, running game is stymied a little bit, and Jalen Hurts is going to have to make throws?
Listen, the Giants have not been very good defensively this year. Their defense has had problems all season. So I think that the Giants, when they're throwing the ball and Jones is in rhythm, I think that's their strength. I think their problem is their defense. Their defense gets overwhelmed by a good team. So you're seeing it tonight. The Bucs have scored 3 of the 5 times they've had the ball.
So if you were to guess, like what the line would be,
I would say the Giants would be a 1-point favorite.
That's it. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah, I think they're going to be like a 1-point favorite.
In terms of
maybe 1.5.
So you think it'll be Giants -1?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like -1.5.
-1.5.
Yeah.
So the Eagles will be dogs.
Yeah, but low dogs, like 1.5.
Look, I'm not betting against the Eagles right now. Like I'm really not.
Well, I'd like to see what happens in this game before I make a solid opinion, but I think the Giants can win the game. I think they'll find a way.
And if the Giants can win this football game,
then it really becomes an interesting game.
Then it's the winner.
Then it's all hands on. Yeah, the winner
has maybe in the driver's seat for a wild card spot, and the loser is going to be facing an extreme uphill battle.
They're showing that play again. He's in bounds and he played 2 steps, so that should be a completion.
So it's incomplete. It's 4th and 5.
Well, of course it is, because you know what? Again, the referees are going to give the Tampa Bay Bucks every break. I still don't understand. Somebody has to explain to me how that pass was not pass interference.
We must have missed something doing the show here.
Well, because the referees always they do it with Dallas and they do it with Brady. It's ridiculous. How in the hell was that not interference?
Now you need to stop.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Now you need to stop.
Brady, yeah, now you got Brady in the 2-minute drill. Oh, great.
Hey, we got the flight zone coming up in just a few minutes, so we're going to get out of here. Thank you to everyone who commented on the show. Thank you to everyone who liked the show, subscribed to A2D during the show. And thank you to Frank Vesby for producing the show.
And we'll see you next Sunday morning.
We'll see you Sunday morning. So you get a little bonus coverage with me and Brad on Sunday morning and John Coyle at the rant booth. And we'll see you next Monday to talk everything Eagles, Giants, everything NFL. Maybe we'll dip into the MLB hot stove next week.
If there's something to talk about, because right now there's nothing.
Well, we need a
Well,
we
Rob,
need an agreement between.
I did want to make one comment.
Go ahead.
Nick Nelson?
What?
You guys seriously got Nick Nelson?
I guess.
Did you need to do you guys need to have a bonfire?
I don't even know who he is.
He's the worst pitcher I've ever seen pitch for the New York Yankees.
He'll fit right in then. He's a bullpen
absolute,
guy.
He's
a bullpen guy.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when the Yankees played the Phillies, when the Phillies scored 10 runs in an inning? That in that one game when they scored 10 runs in the
vaguely
in an inning when they had a doubleheader.
Vaguely,
it was in Philly. Well, Nick Nelson was the pitcher.
It was all his fault. It was all his fault.
He gave up all 10 runs because
it was all his fault.
Yeah,
that's basically. All right. He'll fit right in. We'll use him on the road. He'll fit right in.
Yeah, and this year, every time they brought him in, he got bombed. He's a one-pitch pitcher. He throws nothing but fastballs.
I wouldn't take it too serious. I don't think he's going to be.
No, I'm sorry. I just had to laugh because
it's all right.
He's so incredibly bad. I can't believe anybody would want him. It's
hopefully we can get a collective bargaining agreement done so there's not a work stoppage.
For Bob Brinkman, and I'm sure Bob, you know what I'm talking about here. Okay. He was the Fred Talbot of this past season for the Yankees. And if you guys remember Fred Talbot, Jim Bouton wrote a book called Ball 4, and they had a Fred Talbot rule for the Seattle Pilots. If the Seattle Pilots had either a 10-run lead or were down by 10 runs, Fred Talbot would come in the game. Okay, that's Nick Nelson basically. I'm sorry. I couldn't let that go without saying something about Nick Nelson. God. So
right. Flight Zone coming up in a few minutes. Sports Hounds back at you next week. Ramp booth, 11:30 a.m. on the boardwalk in Ocean City. Come join us. Take over talk. Until then, peace out, everybody.